What makes a great submarine movie? Is it the tension of being sealed in steel hundreds of feet underwater? Or the quiet moments when every sound could mean danger approaching? Real Navy officers say the truth is simpler. The best submarine movies are the ones that feel lived in. The pressure, the teamwork, the impossible calls captains have to make. These films earned respect from people who actually worked below the surface. And one of them hides a surprising detail most viewers never notice. Number 12. Submerged, 2000. Submerged opens with a situation that sounds almost unreal today. A routine test dive goes wrong and sends a submarine straight to the ocean floor. But this story is not fiction. It is based on the real 1939 sinking of the USS Squalus, one of the most dramatic rescue efforts in early naval history. What makes this film stand out is the way it treats the event with calm, grounded seriousness. There is no over-the-top action or exaggerated drama. Instead, the story focuses on the crew trapped below and the rescue team above who refuse to give up. The heart of the film is Lieutenant Commander Momsen, played with steady confidence by Sam Neill. Momsen helped design the rescue chamber used in the real event, and the film shows how risky and untested that technology was. Every scene feels tight and claustrophobic, yet strangely hopeful. Submerged is not flashy, but real Navy personnel often praise it for respecting the truth and showing how teamwork saves lives in the darkest situations. It is a reminder that sometimes the most gripping stories never needed embellishment. The facts were already powerful enough. When viewers talk about submarine films that stay close to reality, this title always finds a place on the list. Number 11. Phantom, 2013. Phantom is one of those films that quietly grew a reputation among Cold War history fans. It places viewers inside a 1960s Soviet submarine during a secret mission that no one, not even the crew, fully understands. Ed Harris plays the captain, a man trying to hold everything together while dealing with tired officers, strange orders, and a growing sense that something is off. The atmosphere is thick from the first minutes. Dim lights, creaking metal, and the unspoken tension of a mission no one can question. While the main plot is fictional, the movie is loosely inspired by the real mystery of the Soviet submarine K-129, which disappeared in 1968. Phantom captures that era accurately. Officers worked with limited information, mistakes could escalate fast, and trust between crew members was everything. Navy viewers often point to the small details that feel right, the narrow corridors, the exhaustion, the way conversations are clipped because everyone has a job to do. Some creative liberties are taken, but the mood of the Cold War is spot on. Paranoia, isolation, the sense that the world could change because of a single wrong call. Phantom is not the easiest film emotionally, but it is memorable because it understands the pressure of being underwater in a time when the stakes were unimaginably high. Number 10. Hostile Waters, 1997. Hostile Waters tells the true story of the Soviet submarine K-219 and the near disaster that unfolded off the United States coast in 1986. What makes this film unique is how quietly it handles the crisis. No dramatic music cues, no exaggerated hero speeches, just a crew facing a terrifying situation with the tools they have and the courage they can muster. Real Navy officers often appreciate when a movie respects the technical side of submarine life, and this one does. The cast, including Rutger Hauer as Captain Britanoff, gives the story weight without turning the characters into larger-than-life figures. Everything is shown from the crew's point of view as they deal with heat, smoke, and the growing fear that time is running out. The movie also explores the political tension of the moment, two superpowers watching each other closely, both trying to avoid blame while sailors fight to stay alive. Hostile Waters succeeds because it does not need to exaggerate. The real event was serious enough. Veterans say its strength comes from how it portrays responsibility under pressure. No glory, no grand celebration. Only people doing what has to be done. For viewers who like submarine films rooted in fact and human resilience, this one stands strong. Number 9. Greyhound, 2020. Greyhound is not a traditional submarine film. It follows a destroyer captain escorting a convoy through the North Atlantic in the early years of the Second World War. But real officers constantly mention this movie because its portrayal of naval decision-making is so accurate. Tom Hanks plays Captain Krause, a man who has trained his whole life for this moment, but never actually led men in combat. The story unfolds over only a few days, yet it feels like viewers are watching months of tension packed into a single mission. Greyhound shows how demanding leadership is at sea. Every choice has consequences. Every delay puts lives at risk. The film never pauses for side plots or long conversations. It moves with the pace of real operations where there is no time to rest. The crew must stay fully alert because danger can appear from any direction, and the margin for error is almost zero. Veterans praise the movie for its respect toward procedure and teamwork. Commands are short and precise. Movements are coordinated. There is no unnecessary flair. Greyhound proves that accuracy can be exciting. You feel the pressure, the responsibility, and the cost of every mistake. It is one of the rare modern films that understands the seriousness of the ocean during wartime and treats it with the care it deserves. Number 8. U-571, 2000. U-571 is a movie that always sparks debate. The storyline changes history, but the technical feel of the submarine interior is so convincing that many Navy officers still give the film credit for authenticity inside the boat. The film follows an American crew trying to capture an enemy submarine during the Second World War. It is a tense setup, filled with close calls, silent waiting, and the constant fear that one wrong move will bring everything crashing down. What stands out is the atmosphere. Tight spaces, dim lighting, metal pipes rattling as the crew tries to stay silent. The actors trained to move like real submariners, and it shows. They slide past each other in narrow passages, communicate with quick gestures, and treat the machinery with respect. Even people who point out the film's historical inaccuracies often agree that the environment feels true to life. The suspense scenes hold up well because they rely on sound and stillness, not giant action moments. Real submarine life is about patience and discipline, and U-571 captures that mood effectively. It is not perfect, but it earns its place on this list because it gives viewers a close, detailed look at what working inside a boat actually feels like. Number 7. The Wolf's Call, 2019. The Wolf's Call surprised a lot of people because it showed something most submarine films ignore: the power of sound. Instead of loud battle scenes, the tension comes from a young sonar operator who can hear details no one else can. The film's focus on acoustic detection is so accurate that real Navy specialists praised it for showing how much skill goes into identifying noises underwater. A wrong interpretation can change the entire mission. The story follows a French nuclear submarine caught in a political crisis that could escalate fast. The main character, Chantarade, carries the pressure of knowing his judgment could influence whether his country stays safe or faces serious consequences. The film keeps you locked in that tension with scenes that rely on silence, tiny vibrations, and guesses that must be correct the first time. French naval officials appreciated the film because the actors trained with real crews, stepped into real submarine compartments, and performed routines the same way actual sailors do them. The director, a former diplomat, understood how decisions move through military chains and wove that realism into the plot. The Wolf's Call feels modern, sharp, and grounded. It proves that a great submarine movie does not need explosions. Sometimes all it needs is a single sound, heard by the right person at the right moment. Number 6. Destination Tokyo, 1943. Destination Tokyo is one of the oldest films on this list, yet it earned real respect from Navy crews for decades. During the Second World War, the United States Navy actually used sections of this film as a reference for training new recruits. That alone tells you how carefully the movie captured procedures, teamwork, and the mood inside a submarine heading deep into enemy territory. The story follows Captain Cassidy, played by Cary Grant, leading his crew on a mission so confidential that their destination is not even revealed until they are far from home. What makes the movie special is how honestly it portrays early submarine life. The bunks are cramped, the routines are strict, and the risks are clear. There is a sense of discipline in every scene. Destination Tokyo also includes one of the earliest attempts to show the humanity of the opposing side. Instead of turning the captured pilot into a simple villain, the film takes a moment to acknowledge that People on every side of a conflict are shaped by their upbringing and beliefs. That was uncommon for films of that era and gave it a surprising layer of depth. With its blend of real naval technique and emotional storytelling, Destination Tokyo remains one of the most respected early submarine films ever made. Number 5, The Enemy Below, 1957. The Enemy Below is one of the most admired submarine films among both American and European naval veterans, because it treats its two captains as equals. Instead of painting one side as flawless and the other as reckless, the movie becomes a strategic chess match between two skilled leaders. Robert Mitchum plays the American destroyer captain, while Kurt Jurgens portrays the German submarine commander with a calm, intelligent presence that caught many viewers off guard. What sets this film apart is its attention to naval tactics. The destroyer movements, the depth charge runs, and even the sonar patterns follow real procedures from the Second World War. A former German sailor served as a consultant, helping the filmmakers build realistic scenes that show how difficult underwater maneuvering truly was. Veterans often say the quiet moments are the best, the tense listening sessions, the long pauses, and the moments when both sides have to guess what the other will try next. The movie respects its characters, even when they are on opposing sides. That sense of professionalism is something real officers deeply appreciate. The Enemy Below is not just about ships, it is about leadership, instinct, and the difficult choices crew members make when they know every decision could change their fate. Number 4, K-19, The Widowmaker, 2002. K-19. The Widowmaker is based on one of the most intense real submarine incidents of the Cold War. The Soviet submarine K-19 suffered a serious reactor failure during its first major mission in 1961, and the crew had to fix the problem with almost no time, no proper tools, and no guidebook. The film does not soften the truth. It shows the fear, the exhaustion, and the determination of the sailors who stepped forward knowing the danger they faced. Harrison Ford plays Captain Zateyev, a strict leader under enormous pressure. His decisions shape every scene, especially as he tries to protect his crew, while following the demands placed on him by higher officials. Navy officers praise the film for capturing the chain of command, and the weight placed on commanders who must look calm, even when things are falling apart. Real sailors who studied the K-19 incident note how accurately the film portrays the cramped reactor compartment, the heat, and the desperate effort to create a temporary repair. The story is tragic, but it highlights courage in a way that feels honest rather than exaggerated. K-19 earns its place here because it shows the harsh reality that submariners sometimes face. It is not glamorous. It is not heroic in a traditional sense. It is simply human beings doing their best when every moment counts. Number 3, The Command, 2018. The Command tells the story of the Kursk tragedy of the year 2000, one of the most heartbreaking submarine disasters in modern memory. What sets this film apart is its focus on both sides of the event. You see the crew fighting to stay hopeful inside the damaged submarine, while their families and international rescue teams wait above, trying to get answers. There is no exaggeration here. The film relies entirely on what actually happened. Director Thomas Vinterberg used real equipment, expert divers, and information from official accounts to recreate the event with care. The film shows how the crew stayed organized, shared rations, and supported each other, even when they knew rescue might not come in time. Real Navy observers praised how the movie avoids dramatic inventions and instead lets the emotional truth speak for itself. Above the surface, you see the slow communications, political barriers, and hesitation that cost precious hours. The Command highlights how important cooperation and transparency are during emergencies. It also honors the bravery of the sailors who tried to hold on until help arrived. This is not an easy watch, but it is an essential one. It respects the people involved and tells their story with clarity and compassion. Number 2, The Hunt for Red, October, 1990. The Hunt for Red October is one of the rare submarine movies praised not only by the public, but also by real officers who worked during the later years of the Cold War. What makes it impressive is how confidently it handles its story. The movie does not rush. It lets viewers sit with the tension as a Soviet commander, played by Sean Connery, takes a new and highly advanced submarine off course, leaving both his own country and the United States guessing what he plans to do next. The film treats intelligence work, communication delays, and the stress of political decisions with surprising accuracy. Officers who have served in real operations often say the movie gets the tone right. Serious conversations, careful planning, and people trying to predict each other's moves without knowing who to trust. Alec Baldwin plays a young analyst who believes the commander is not planning anything dangerous, and that single idea shapes the entire mission. Technically, some scenes are simplified, but the professionalism, posture, and routines of the crews feel real. The movie shows how every station on a submarine works together, how information travels, and how officers stay composed even when no one can see what is happening outside the hull. The Hunt for Red October remains one of the most respected submarine thrillers because it combines intelligence, detail, and strong characters into a story that still feels grounded decades later. Number 1. Das Boot, 1981. Das Boot is widely considered the most realistic submarine film ever made, and real Navy officers often place it at the very top of their rankings. The story follows the crew of the German submarine U-96 during the Second World War as they face storms, depth charges, exhaustion, and the constant fear of never returning home. What makes this film unforgettable is how completely it commits to authenticity. The submarine interior was built as a full, moving replica. Actors had to learn how to move, turn, and work inside those narrow spaces, just like real crew members. Many stayed out of sunlight for weeks, so their skin tone matched the look of sailors who had been underwater far too long. Even small gestures, like sliding past someone without touching a pipe or adjusting a valve with practiced ease, were rehearsed until they felt natural. The film never glamorizes the mission. You see the boredom, the small jokes shared out of nervousness, and the heavy silence when danger is close. Veterans respected how the movie shows crew members as real people with fears and hopes, not perfect heroes or exaggerated villains. Every moment feels earned, every sound echoes with pressure, and every decision carries weight. Das Boot does not just show submarine life, it immerses viewers inside it. That commitment is why it remains the gold standard and the movie that real submariners point to when they say, "This one gets it right." And there you have it. 12 submarine films that earned the respect of people who know what life underwater really feels like. These movies are not just stories. They are snapshots of pressure, teamwork, and the bravery it takes to stay calm when the world above has no idea what you are facing. If you discovered a new favorite to watch, let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. More deep dive lists are on the way.